And obviously, like in tennis, we have these three goats. Currently, there are two in the tour, and hopefully Federer recovers quickly from his injuries. But there are some other players also. In Australian Open, we had Medvedev, and since then we have Carlos Alcaraz coming up. He had some crazy tournaments leading up to the French Open, but unfortunately he got knocked out in the French Open. I was hoping to see him go further. What are your thoughts about this young player? And if there are any other players who've caught your eye and you think they could potentially be the future after this triumvirate of sorts is finally broken?
Yeah, I think Alcaraz is right. Like in the beginning, I thought, is he being overhyped? And is it unfair to compare him to Rafa? But his tenacity, the way he plays, the fact that he also pretty much can, it's so hard to hit a winner against Alcaraz. Like, I think that was the key difference when Zverev beat him as well in the French Open, was the fact that Zverev had big serves, and he always has that in the back of his pocket, but he was acing it after acing it after acing it. And that's so hard on clay, especially to serve an ace, given how the ball slows down. So I think credit where credit's due to Zverev. He needed to bring his A plus game rather, to take down Alcaraz, because he's been phenomenal. Of course, he beat Rafa as well on clay, in the lead up to this. And Rafa didn't have a great lead up, right? He lost 2 clay tournaments on route to Roland Garros. So I was a bit worried for Rafa at that point, but I mean,
He delivers
so
when it
far so good.
matters.
Exactly. And also I feel like Alcaraz would have been Rafa's biggest threat going into the final, if at all it does work out like that. Let's see. Still, of course, Rafa's going to play today, as on the day we're recording. But the thing is, apart from Alcaraz, Zverev, of course, is up there. Rublev is there. These are consistent players who are now making it to the quarterfinals or semifinals and knocking each other out, which is fair, which shows that it is a competitive field, but they are the best of the rest. And then there's a clear gap below that. So I think Zverev, him, I would still like to see Dominic Thiem come back and perform. He's been pretty underwhelming for me. Alcaraz is a name which came up from pretty much nowhere all of a sudden. Medvedev still has it in him. I still think Medvedev's a phenomenal hardcourt player. So I would definitely tip him to challenge on that. Cilic just seems to find ways to win as well, upsets opponents. Though, according to me, I think he's always underperformed. So I think I wouldn't want to rule him out as well, because eventually you don't know, if it goes to 5 sets, Cilic may have it in him to also beat some of the names. So lots of people to look out for. But for me, I think still I would keep an eye out for Sasha Zverev as an overall player in terms of across courts. I think he can do well on grass as well. I have my doubts over the rest. I think Medvedev will do well too. But then again, you have to face the monsters in Rafa or Djokovic. And if Fed plays, then of course on grass, he is the king. Those are the facts. It's only Djokovic who has managed to trump him in recent times. And then there's always been that back and forth between Rafa and him. So lots to look forward to. I think it's exciting times for men's tennis. Women's tennis again is finding its feet. I think that's something that I think men's tennis needs a few players to now stand up and start delivering as well. And once that happens, I think tennis on an overall basis will be absolutely amazing going into this next phase as the big three reach the ends of their careers.